Okay, what is persuasion? Then I tell them, well, it's about changing people and how they act. I want to put your hands, be careful not to hit the one in front of you, but put your hands out like this, thumbs up. You can clap once. Perfect, audience. Okay, now you put your thumbs down. You put your left hand up. Now half has left up, the other half has right up. Put your left hand up. Now you put them over each other. You interlock them. Yeah, and if you did it right, your left thumb should be on top. So check that. Still people here having trouble with left and right. Your left hand should be on top. Yeah. Did it all right? Left hand on top, or left thumb on top. You put your index finger out. Yeah. Now, if I wasn't able to persuade you and to perceive you, you would all be able to do this. Okay, you can sit down. So I was, when you walk through a city, it's probably also here, when you walk through a city, some people might come up to you and try to sell you something. Might be a guy standing at a stand selling you a magazine, might be someone selling you something from Greenpeace, or it might be a homeless guy trying to get some money from you to buy beer or something else. And this, I try to walk past them, probably maybe you even put your earplugs in and ignore them, you walk past them. Doesn't work that often. So I was invited to, I also organized Meet Magento events in the Netherlands, and I got an award for that from eBay, and had nothing to do with the presentation, just like to show off. It's really hard to smell your product online. You don't have feedback. You can't try them on online. It's really hard to do. It's impossible. There's no commitment online. Online, you can put all those products in your basket. You're just at home, put them in your basket, close your browser, you're gone. That doesn't happen offline. You don't see people in the supermarket putting all their groceries in their basket or in their cart and walk away. That doesn't happen. So you have to keep them committed to the end. And personalization is really hard online. We're getting better and better at it, true. But if you've been buying your cheese or your wine for the last 10 years at this guy's store, he knows what you like, he knows what you dislike. So when a new product is on the market, he knows what cheeses he can recommend to you, what wines go with that cheese. He can recommend it especially to you. These are just some examples of why it's much harder online than offline. There is a solution. Most of our decisions, there's an old picture of me, you can see by the big nose, it's me. Our decisions are for 90 to 99% unconscious. I mean, I think that's a lot, but it's also about the decisions you make, the physical decisions, how you tie your shoelaces, how you open a door, how you sit down. You don't think about that. And that's a good thing. That's a good thing. It's all automated thoughts and actions. Some examples. When something is really expensive, we expect it to be of good quality. When someone's wearing a coat, he's probably a doctor, he's telling the truth. When we get more for the same price, it's probably better. When someone says, well, we're going to do plan A because, he's probably telling you a good most of the time. And these automated thoughts in psychology, we call them heuristics. You can forget the name, but it's intuition, the intuition you have, common sense. And that's great, but it also leads to cognitive biases. And this is when you make a decision to go for plan E while you actually should have gone for plan B or C or D. You don't know. And we all have that. We have many of those biases. And we're not even aware that we have them most of the time. That's the tricky part. The availability heuristic is the heuristic that says it's easier to recall something when it recently happened, or when it happens quite often. And something happens quite often, and it's easy to recall, and we think because it's easy to recall, we think it happens more often. So let's try this. This is a bit uncomfortable example, I admit that, but these are some casualties from deadly situations worldwide, combined, of terrorism, airplane crashes, all casualties of all airplane crashes worldwide, all casualties of any natural disaster worldwide, and there's a swimming pool, all casualties in a swimming pool. Now, if I would ask you which picture doesn't belong here, you will probably all choose the swimming pool. I've done this more often this talk, and everyone chooses the swimming pool. Does anyone want to say why it's a swimming pool that doesn't belong here? The swimming pool is 50% more deadly than the other situations combined. That's crazy, right? You need to pay for it. Same thing with Magento. Freemium model, there's an open source version. And the idea is that a lot of people will use it, and eventually some of them will buy services and maybe even upgrade to enterprise. So number 3 from Cialdini, social proof. And it starts out with a video of an experiment done some time ago. Can I have audio? No audio? I'll talk over it. What happens here is that these are part of the experiment, and they get into an elevator.
And you'll see how this man in the trench coat tries to maintain his individuality, but little by little, he looks at his watch, but he's really making an excuse for turning just a little bit more to the wall.
Stuff you can do with social proof. Social proof is about what other people do, and we like to look at that and maybe even do the same. Social proof, social media. Good example of that, showing how many people are following you. Authority, or you can present yourself as an authority. That's what they did at a Dutch website. They faked authority. It was a government campaign to make people aware of risks of buying online. It was a fake website, and when they applied all the persuasion tricks here, but when people bought, they got a pop-up saying, hey, what are you doing? This is not even a real web shop. This is stuff you're putting inside your body. Be careful. So that's how you can use persuasion for good. Number 5 of Cialdini is liking. It's really easy, or much easier to sell something or buy something from a friend than from someone else. But it's really hard because you're trying to sell through a computer screen. So how we can do this is, like MailChimp does, have a funny logo, have a funny mascot, try to communicate in a fun way. But easier is even the tell a friend principles. What those are based on is get your customers to tell their friends about how awesome you are. That's a great way of persuading. If people are attractive, that helps. If you're feeling any similarity with those people, and when you get compliments. I always say I have a great audience at the beginning. You're awesome. When you can all clap your hands, really great. I'm giving you a compliment. And the fun thing is, it really works. Give people compliments, even if they know. Scarcity is the less of something is available, the more interesting it is for some people to get. Groupon is based on that principle.